United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. And we have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves.
July 4th, 2026, America's 250th birthday. The prophecy hidden in plain sight. Empires don't announce their collapse. They reach the point of no return in silence. The pattern transcends culture, geography, technology. Rome, 244 years from republic to empire. Ottoman, 250 years from rise to peak. Britain, 251 years from empire to dissolution. The mathematical precision defies coincidence. America turns exactly 250 years old on July 4th, 2026. 5 metrics converge toward this single point in time with cold, algorithmic inevitability. First, debt to GDP ratio, currently 123%. By 2026, projected to reach 137%. The historical collapse threshold, 130%. Rome crossed it in 235 AD. Within 2 decades, the empire fragmented. Second, wealth inequality. America's top 0.1% now control more wealth than the bottom 90%. By 2026, you're projected to surpass pre-French Revolution levels. No society in history has sustained such disparity without systemic rupture. Third, social cohesion metrics. Trust in institutions has fallen 54% since 1970. By 2026, it's projected to fall below 20%, the historical breaking point for functional governance. The Soviet Union collapsed at 19%. Fourth, military overextension. America maintains 750 bases in 80 countries. By 2026, projected maintenance costs will exceed 62% of discretionary spending, precisely the threshold that preceded Spanish imperial collapse. Fifth, political polarization. Current metrics exceed pre-Civil War measurements. By 2026, projected to reach levels not seen in any democracy that survived intact. These 5 horsemen of imperial apocalypse converge with mathematical precision on a single point in time. 2026 is not the end. It is the point beyond which return becomes impossible. The threshold between decline and collapse, between gradual and irreversible. They will celebrate the anniversary while crossing the threshold. Fireworks will illuminate the sky as the metrics cross their final lines. The semi-quincentennial celebration, already being planned in Washington, will serve as both birthday and funeral. The prophecy isn't mystical, it's mathematical. It isn't supernatural, it's historical. It isn't just probable, it's inevitable.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Quadash, and a sincere salutations to the hopeful elect, the Tabernacle of David, you Akim, pushing this truth to the 4 corners of the earth in all truth, faith, and sincerity, and also a healthy shalom to the few Akwath that are listening and learning. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying. I want to start this lesson off with 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 5. It reads, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." Right, we are at the end, okay? The end is being made manifest, okay? It's manifesting itself right before your very eyes, right in your face, whether you people can see it or believe it or not. All right, the end of the American empire is at hand. And a recompense from the Heavenly Father is befallen this place. And deep down, you people know it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8 reads, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." And we know that America, Babylon the Great, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, Mystery Babylon, was established on rape, robbery, and murder. ill-gotten gains. And that's not even something you can debate. And the Heavenly Father is judging this place, these people, for all the wickedness that is taking place here and that is prescribed here. The sins of this place have truly reached the heavens. I always talk about how the average lifespan of an empire is 250 years. And next year, America has a very special birthday. All right. And that birthday represents its end. Okay? Represents its end. The fact of the matter is that America is at the point beyond which return has become possible. Okay? There is no making America great again. The economy is in shambles. The debt is through the roof, okay, of this country. Okay? It's irreversible. Plain and simple. Now, this is Wikipedia, Fall of Empires, and it reads, the fall of an empire is typically associated with a change in world order, with a new hegemony replacing the former empire. Now, we'll get the definition of
Hegemony.
Hegemony. Leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. And we harp on the fact that America has lost its hegemony or hegemony. All right? It's no longer the single individual world superpower.
The American Secretary of State himself, Marco Rubio himself, said yesterday, the days of American hegemony are over. This is a significant statement. It's blindingly obvious, but it's a significant fact that the Secretary of State of a Republican administration, Marco Rubio, should publicly declare it. So the first ones now will later be last. The slow ones now will later be fast. The plates are continuing to shift, and they're all shifting in one direction, namely in the direction of the people of the East and the South, whose day is coming.
All right, there you have it. You heard it out of George Galloway's mouth. And I'm going to touch on a couple points that he made. Now, it reads, fall of empires. The fall of an empire is typically associated with a change in world power. Now, George spoke of the power shifting from the West to the East and the South. All right. And he's mainly speaking of these BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right. They look to be the next superpowers to dethrone America, Babylon, the Great. Okay. To control this new world order. So it reads, with a new hegemon replacing the former empire. There is typically a decline in soft power, and soft power is simply the ability to co-opt rather than coerce, all right? A superpower being attractive and enticing to these other nations to do business with. And hard power. Hard power is just a superpower using its military and economic means to influence the behavior of other nations. Continuing on, it reads, during the fall, the empire typically retreats its expanded operations. And we know that America has over 800 military bases, garrisons spread throughout the world, such as Rome did. It reads, trade shrinks as former empires shift its priorities toward domestic policy. Living conditions may deteriorate as the economy shrinks. And that's what we're witnessing over here in America, man. All right. The living conditions are shrinking. They are terrible. Working conditions, okay? All conditions on all facets are failing in America. And all these are signs of a failing empire, okay? Now, I'm going to end it here so that this lesson doesn't run too long. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1. It reads, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not." Evil days meaning bad times, bad days, all right, many miseries. "Nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." I'm going to jump down to 12 and 3. It reads, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves." And that's what's taking place now. All right, these men in high authority and high powers of places of power. All right, these lesser luminaries, all right, are trembling. All right, the stock market's volatile. They don't know what's up, what's down. Okay, they have fear. Okay, because they're not a part of the oligarchs, the elite. Okay, that are driving this economic collapse of America and ultimately the world. It says, "And the strong men shall tremble and bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because they are few, and the grinding is ceasing." You know, everywhere you look, there's no work. There's no one prospering. Government subsidies are being cut off. Okay? Everywhere you look, there's no winning. It reads, "And those that look out of the windows, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." Right, these people see no future here. Absolutely no future here. Thus, the fall of an empire, which I might just entitle this lesson that. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." Right, the doors are shut in the street. There's no work. All right? Got to get to your grind. Well, there's nothing to grind. It says, "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird." Okay, the modern day bird is the alarm clock. Okay, you know, instead of rising up to that cock-a-doodle-doo, you're rising up to that alarm clock going off to fill out multiple job applications because no one's hiring and no one's calling you back. All right, "And all the daughters of music shall be brought low." All right, going into the entertainment, the music, the mirth is ceasing from this place. And once again, all signs of a failing empire. So the end is being made manifest. All right, horrible times for 2/3 and the rest of you nations, but joyous times for the hopeful elect. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patience in spirit is better than the proud in spirit." And the hopeful elect are patient, patiently waiting for the end of this empire and the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob is the Salakia. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. Us tribes we have next. So we're patiently waiting. All right, as Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai manifest all the promises that he has written in this book concerning the reward of the righteous and also the judgment of the wicked, the proud in spirit. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom Israel. Wa Abad Babal.